Hello and welcome to another edition of QB1 with in-house quarterback expert Crissy Froyd, and she is here to talk about Purdue signal caller Aidan O'Connell. Crissy, O'Connell is a player who no one was really watching previously, but has now been pinned as like a potential rising talent. Do you see that same potential in him that maybe some other people see?
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's because he's, at the end of the day, is a really, really solid passer and is someone that, Purdue has seen some highs and lows in its time as a program, but I do think that he has the ability just to elevate this program in his own right. I believe his completion percentage last year was somewhere around 72%, which is really, really good and is indicative of just how accurate he is as a passer. And I think he's also someone who's shown a really high football IQ, that gets along well with his teammates, that is someone who boosts the locker room. And so I think that this is a quarterback that, he got the job like week 5 of the season last year. And so the sample size isn't quite as huge as you'd want it to be. But I think that he's shown a lot. I think that the attention that he's garnered is warranted.
Now, you kind of mentioned some of the sample size, albeit small, he showed in what he did in 2021. How does, how might he expand upon that going into 2022?
Yeah, I think as simple as it sounds, he just needs to come in and do the exact same thing that he did last year. So he's the big thing is that he's going to be coming into a season where he has an entirely different group of wide receivers. So everything changes on that front. But I do think with just how well that he times his throws and how good his ball placement is, that the receivers are going to have to step up. But as for him, it's almost not going to matter just because of how polished he's shown to be as a passer.
You mentioned his abilities, his characteristics a little bit, but go in depth with me. Like, what are O'Connell's best traits as a quarterback and as a football player? And quarterback's got to be a leader, even as a leader.
Yeah, I think that he's shown that. I think that he's shown that he can really just kind of be thrown into the, I don't want to say thrown into the fire, but can kind of rather unexpectedly, like mid-season, go into a season in which he wasn't the starter and really get it together and kind of turn things around for the team. And I think that that's something that's good. And I think, like I said earlier, he's not the most uber athletic quarterback. He does have enough athleticism, in my opinion. But I think that this is a player who really is just so strong as a passer that I think that that's something that's going to help him a lot moving forward. And if he manages to expand upon that this year, he's going to have one of the best stat lines in that category in the nation across active FBS quarterbacks.
With all that potential, fans are always wondering who's the next big NFL draft prospect. Where could O'Connell ultimately land in the next NFL draft?
I think that he's an early round pick, even with the class that's as deep as this one is, just because of, if he remains consistent and looks as polished as he did as a passer last year, this is a quarterback that's really ready to go, that has a really high floor. And I think he has a high ceiling as well. And then just in terms of football IQ and intangibles and stuff like that, he's already shown that he has that. And I think that he ranks better than a lot of other quarterbacks in this draft in that aspect.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more QB1.